So here I'm looking at the S&P 500, and I'm looking at us on the lows, right? Now look, you see down here, look, this 38.30s. I'm looking at this like this has been the bottom of the range on the day, and there's nothing underneath it for a while. So you'll see me slide over and see how far we have to go back before we break down that level. And I was looking like the 9th, the 8th or the 9th was the last time we were trading around that level. And then also on the 2nd. So you see me scroll over and look. So that's this level right here. And look, if you seen like S&P 500, look, S&P 500 is like basically doing the same thing as the SPY at this point. And you'll see that in a second. See the SPY? Same type of price action. So I'm looking at all this, and I'm also looking at the Qs and Meta, and then Tesla. Look, as you see, Tesla broke down where we double bottomed at, and then came back down and tested it again, broke down, and now it's on previous close, which is 150.22s. So I'm looking at that. And remember, like I've been saying, like Tesla has been leading as far as the direction of the market, like on the short term. So I'm looking at that as well. And I mean, you can see it. Look, Tesla's breaking down. Look, Apple's breaking down. The SPY broke down previous close, came down here. New candle opened below the previous candle, putting in a bearish pattern and trying to hold VWAP in the 9, but looking rather weak, like it wants to break down. And the Q's never even made it up here. And then look at all these red prints on Apple. You feel me? So all of that is, I'm just watching all that. It's confirming that the price action is trappy. You see me just looking around. Look, Apple breaking down that 130, 132.30s. You can see me just trying to be patient and look at these charts. And then right here, I'm kind of seeing some bouncing coming to the market, and I'm probably trying to determine whether we will continue to look bearish or if we might see some reversal type action. And I mean, this is just like trappy price action, bro. Look, see how Apple, tanked, kind of tried to bounce and tanked. I mean, Apple was just bearish. But Meta is more of a prime example of trappy price action. Look, sell off then bounce. But look, sell off then bounce. Get above the 9 here. Try to head up towards VWAP. But then sell off again and head lower. And that's what I mean by trappy. It bounces just enough to make you think that we could see some reversal type price action, but never comes to fruition. Basically, and that's what I mean by trappy. But one thing I will say is, after I faded Meta from up here and got out down here, like I was seeing like basically the majority of all the tickers and stocks that I was watching look bearish, but for some reason, Meta seemed to have some decent relative strength, like all day up until the point where I stopped trading. And I basically stopped like right during like midday, like lunchtime chop, and look at Tesla. Here's another prime example of not a prime example, but basically like an example of how I say Tesla has been leading as far as the direction of the market in the short term. Look how bearish that thing is, bro. Like under sub 150s at this point. But as you can see, look, Tesla's come down. Looked like it wanted to bounce, but might have dead cat bounce, I guess. We'll see. But look, as you've seen a little bouncing come to Tesla, look, right here, you see it in Apple and on Meta. And as you can see right here, I'm watching the bonds, and you see me try to go ahead and kind of like draw a trend line, because basically like everything was looking bearish. Equity and the TLT, or the 20-year treasury bond ETF. But I seen us kind of look like we put in a bottom here and then bounce, and that's why I put that trend line to let me know, okay, if we break out of this downtrend and the bonds start heading up, that would confirm that the market would continue to look bearish. We continue to see some bearish price action. So that's why you see me kind of like drawing the trend line there. And I'm just kind of like just looking around, like looking at different just different time frames and stuff like that. But as you can see, the bonds were looking like they were bouncing and breaking out of a downtrend. And if that holds up, you would expect equity to be bearish or start to look weak, but not all the time. But I mean, sometimes nothing's gonna work all the time, bro. Nothing's 100% all the time. But like I said, what you have to do is just figure out, where you can get an edge from, and not just one edge, but multiple edges, and just like put them all together and try to, paint your picture of what you think, and try to like, based off of that, formulate a plan and a thesis, and try to execute your plan. But I'm just watching the price action, and again, bro, it's trappy price action. Look, sell off, then bounce, then sell off again, and then, but this is a higher low, so I'm not really sold anyway. I'm still sold on bearishness, but I am taking note of this higher low. And then look, as you see Tesla sell off and then try to put in a bottom and bounce, you'll see some bounce come into the market, or at least tech. And look, you'll see it right here on Apple. You see it right here. Now Nvidia was looking rather bearish today. Like, I mean, but for the most part, Nvidia has been having some decent relative strength. But and I think it did actually recover a little bit, at least up and before I was done trading. It's rare that you see Nvidia look bearish like that. For me anyways. I mean, do keep in mind, like, the last few trading periods, I wasn't able to trade. I had to freaking basically rebuild my PC from scratch. And then you see me looking at the bonds here, just trying to see what we got going on, and just checking the levels. And again, I'm watching it. And look, as you see right here, right? Look, we put in a bottom, and then looks like we started putting in a bullish pattern, kind of breaking out of that downtrend. But I'm also not sold on that, because if you look right here, we broke out of the downtrend for a second right there, also right here. And I mean, you'll see the price action deviate outside the trend here and there. But, for a trend to remain intact, you want at least 90% of the price action to follow the trend. And here's the S&P 500. You see me just watching it. And I'm kind of just looking at the different time frames. And that's on the 10-minute. And I'm just looking. And then right here, if you look, this chop right here, like where we were kind of consolidating and trading sideways, like chopping around. So that's the bottom of the range on the S&P 500. So I'm looking at that like, all right, if we come back down here and test this and break down that level, we could see some downside action, like more downside action. And then you see me like scroll over to see like when's the last time we tested those levels. And looks like around the 8th, the 7th or the 8th of November. I'm just just looking at some levels, trying to see trying to find any levels or anything. And as you see right here, you see me put this level in here because look, we kind of rejected there, then bounced there, then resistance there, and it's looking like it's acting as resistance here. You also have to take into account the resistance here and here. And then down here, we kind of bounced off of it, but not really. But mainly here, 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 and here. So that's why you see me putting in that level right there. Look, right there, right there, right here, and then right here, and right here. So that's showing me that that level, looked at 38.43 is a key level, at least for me, at that particular time. And that's why I put it in white, key level. And 38.43.97, it's 38.44s. And then you could see like rejection, base. And then look, as we see the market start to get weak, we see the bonds uh, breaking out of that downtrend and above VWAP and kind of consolidating a little bit. So that right there kind of shows me that we could continue to see some bearishness. And then if you look at the S&P 500, same thing. But what you have to notice is, look, yeah, we're looking bearish, but then we try to sell off a little bit or leak, seen some weakness, but it immediately got bought back up, I guess. And I'm watching that, like, hold on, yeah, everything's looking bearish, but when the wick's on the bottom, that means they're buying it up. And, obviously the inverse is true. You know what I mean? If it's on the top, then it's the inverse. Well, I'm looking at that. And then I'm also looking at this. See that wick on the bottom? And then right here, it's more of a doji candle. But look, higher low, kind of stepping up. I'm just watching. You feel me? Trying to pay attention to the price action. And I'm watching Tesla, and look, you seen Tesla? Wait, let's go back. See Tesla right here? See that nice bullish candle? And that's why we're seeing a little bouncing trying to come in. But, I mean, it's short term, like the short term direction. Look, see that? And then look, you can see it here on NVIDIA. Bottom of the range, put in a higher low, and then putting in higher low, stepping up. Little bullish price action there. Same thing with Microsoft. Tested the bottom, went back up, tested that level. But look, we're at that 242. Look, this 242 90s right here. Look, sold off. This is where we kind of tried to bounce at and consolidate, but then ultimately rejected and sold off. But then when we were looking bullish, we came up here and respected this resistance. Decent. Look, just wicking on that thing. Wicking. So that's like a key level for me on Microsoft. And as you can see, I have the level in white. But look, same level on Microsoft right there. 242.80, 242.86, 242.90. So basically that tells me right there, like, if Microsoft can't get back above that level, then it's still bearish. Or if we do go back up there and test that level, depending on what the price action looks like, it could be a decent fade off that level. Look, we're seeing bearishness coming in, especially on the SPY right now. But remember, the SPY was out ahead of everything. So basically right now it looks like basically the SPY is converging with the rest of the market. And now everything's kind of converged. Look, you got the SPY bottom of the range coming down here to test it. The Q's bottom of the range coming down here to test it. And then Apple's just like fading, bro. But remember what I was saying. Look, when everything was looking pretty bearish, for some reason, Meta had some decent relative strength. And my last trade I think I took was on Meta. It was actually a losing trade, but overall green on the day. So I'm happy with that. And again, I'm more focused on base hits around now, and not so much the home runs. And just especially with all the issues and problems that I've you feel me, had to deal with, recently. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't wish that. I don't wish that on no one, bro. Like, it really kind of threw me off my game, bro, for a decent little minute. Like, damn near a whole month, bro. Like, haven't been able to really make any content or trade. Like I said before I started getting attacked like that consistently, like, I had like 5 green weeks in a row, bro. So it's not, and I do realize people have to make adjustments or stuff, but like, bro, like, what I'm saying is, I don't want to make excuses. I'm not a person to make excuses, like, but dude, no one could trade and be consistently profitable. You feel me? While they're, basically being cyber attacked, bro. It's craziness. The attacks are one thing, but then it's like the distraction from it is another thing. You feel me? But whatever. We just have to we just have to keep grinding. You feel me? And you can see me here putting in And as you see right here, look, I go ahead and put like this little support zone in here and then kind of highlight this, because this basically shows me like if we don't hold this support and bounce or at least consolidate and we crack this little support zone, basically look out below. And that's why you see me like do all that. It's mainly because I knew my mic wasn't working, so I was kind of like doing like some extra stuff to kind of so I can remember exactly, you know, what I was doing and what my thought process was at that particular time. Look at the bonds. So the bonds are, you know, breaking out of that downtrend. But again, I'm not totally sold yet, because look, again, we broke out right here and right here. So, I mean, this isn't much different than here, here, and here. So I guess I was putting that there as a key level. And this is what I mean by, look, Meta had some decent relative strength. But I mean, like, that was like right here when I faded this thing from right here. I mean, that was a beautiful trade, bro. Just perfect execution on it. From here down to the bottom and got out. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, if you have decent enough size, I mean, you could be done trading at that point. But, you know, I'm like, I've basically sized down. I've just been like too distracted. So, like, obviously, when the market is kind of really volatile and unpredictable, or, you know, you maybe have taken a break or something, or you haven't been trading as much as usual, you want to go ahead and size down, like in those scenarios.